It's been a while since we've had a legitimate AJ Dybantsa update, Cart, but AJ Dybantsa speaks. He spoke. He is verbal.
Yay.
Yay is correct. No, this is actually interesting to me because AJ at Peach Jam, I love Peach Jam because one, it's good basketball, but two, we get a lot of like serious recruiting updates that you just don't get when things are spread out across the country. Like everybody's in one spot, and a lot of the very most elite players in the country start actually revealing what's going on with their recruitments. AJ Dybantsa has been a very cloudy recruitment because everybody wants him, and I've just never seen a unanimous number one player in a class like actively tweeting out UCF offers. Like that's kind of what's going on with AJ. Like I can't get a read on, is this kid headed to the Blue Bloods? Is he chasing the bag? That seems like the one consensus is schools that have money have AJ Dybantsa's attention. Well, he spoke about many of the programs that are after him. This is from an On3 article. Shout out to Joe Tipton. And I just kind of want to go through some of the schools and we can discuss what we think AJ thinks of these schools because there were some very interesting quotes dropped. The number one thing I took away from this, AJ Dybantsa claims he's not really talking to any coaches. I don't know if I would assume that's real if he's saying it, but like he kept repeatedly saying, yeah, I don't talk to coaches. Like my dad talks to coaches. My dad has my best interest. Do you like that move for the number one player in the country?
No, I would like for set player to be the one talking to, because as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Dybantsa will not be playing for these coaches. So would like for AJ to actually be a part of it. But I mean, I know you're gonna get to these quotes, but I'm gonna just read one of them. It's just hilarious to me about Duke. I only heard from Shire once, but I'm sure they talk to my dad regularly.
And that's like every school. He's going up and down the list. It's like, yeah, like I talked to them once years ago, and yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like that. Cart. This is like Bronny James mixed with the Fears recruitment right now, but
Wait,
in the number
no.
one player in the country.
E, can you promise me something?
What?
Please promise me he's not going to end up in the NBL
He might.
or G League or G. No, there is no more G League Ignite. But like, he's not going to go to the NBL, right?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the family or the dad or who's making the decisions, but
Like NBL talk.
it all feels so weird and muddy to me. Like nothing would surprise me this one. And we've seen weird number one player recruitments in the past. Like every couple of years, there's just like a guy who's very non-traditional with the way they go about things. But historically, my stance is the recruits who are like, yeah, it all runs through my dad. Those are guys you want to stay away from historically. And Dybantsa is so good, you can't stay away from him. No good program in the country is like, let's pass on AJ Dybantsa, but a lot of schools are going to waste their time here, I think.
Oh no, all these schools are basically they are hitting up Mr. Dybantsa daily, ask him how his day is going,
Yeah,
if
true.
everything's all good. And as well you should, because AJ is that good of a player.
Yeah. So here's some intel. He visited BYU recently. We talked about it. He said the visit was good. I took an unofficial. Kevin Young wants to get me back out there on an official. BYU is 3 hours away from Utah Prep. So it's kind of far, but it was good. Ugh, I don't like that.
Do you like any of these quotes?
Well, one takeaway that's pro BYU right there is it seems like he is talking to Kevin Young. If he's not talking to all these other coaches, it seems like there's an active correspondence with BYU's head coach.
Also because Kevin Young's like, you know what, F this. He's down the street. I mean, he's not down the street, but like, I'm not calling pops. I'm gonna go find him.
Yeah. Kevin Young's like 3 hours is nothing. I don't care if you think that's
For
far.
AJ Dybantsa?
I'll do
No,
that every morning.
hey, no, I'll expense that on the BYU company card. I might stop for a little something on the way, maybe see a mountain. He looks like a hiking type coach, and then go see Dybantsa on the way.
Kentucky's another one. It seems like he has active correspondence too. He says, I talked to Mark Pope. I went on a Zoom with him. I got the offer on a call. A couple different Zoom calls were mentioned. Says that he knows those guys are recruiting internationally right now, but seems like there's an active correspondence and interest in Kentucky. Going down the list, Alabama, they've got a coach, Preston Murphy, that used to coach him in EYBL. And then he mentioned two players by name, Darion Reed and Aiden Sherrill. it seems like Bama has a serious shot, and Bama has a lot of momentum in general right now. That might be one I'd put a star next to for AJ.
Just given like one, Preston Murphy's the dog when it comes to recruiting in general. Like
Yep.
he's special. And when we go through these lists, as much as we talked about like BYU would be great, Alabama to me might have like one of the best pitches, like money, connection with Murphy, Oates, teammates. Who do you want to be, AJ Dybantsa? You seen Brandon Miller lately?
Yeah.
Come be Brandon Miller. Like it's man, something.
Yeah. Yeah. Auburn got to mention Bruce Pearl in active correspondence. And then some interesting ones, Cart. USC. When I went on a visit there, it was the old staff, but Musselman also reached out. Duke, I've only heard from John Shire once, but I'm sure they talked to my dad. Arkansas. I've talked to Cal multiple times when he was at Kentucky and Arkansas. And then he mentioned Coach Chin Coleman as well. Baylor. I've talked to Scott Drew and Jacobs. Jacobs got a named mention from AJ Dybantsa card.
That you got to give credit to that, correct?
It's one of the first times I'm afraid of John Jacobs.
Oh wait, what'd you say?
The, the last one, the last one is Yukon. They were one of my first offers, like my third offer. That's when I was a freshman, and I haven't heard from them since. What do you think Hurley's doing? So Hurley just like tried to get out in front of Dybantsa and then is like, I'm Yukon. You can come to me. Is that what this is?
Can you please read the Georgia Tech one?
Oh, I didn't even realize there was a Georgia Tech one. That was also one of my first offers. I think I've only spoken to Damon Stoudemire once when I got it.
Like that's just it.
And then okay, so he elaborates. I feel like we're just reading the full article, so go read the full article. Joe Tipton did great work.
Sorry about that. We don't want to be those. We don't want to be those people.
Yeah, we don't want to be those people. On3 does a great job, and there's a lot more in this article that we haven't mentioned, but just repetitive, repeated. My dad, my dad, my dad. Like when he talks about what's coming next, when you want to trim your list, he's like, my dad will probably figure things out. Like. Does this just mean Pops is looking for the biggest check card? Is that a safe summary takeaway?
It kind of feels like that. I mean, it's hard not to kind of, think like that.
Under the guise of like I'm protecting my son, but in reality, we're just like doing backdoor negotiations. Like, let me counter offer.
Yeah, I'm also trying to get some more info on Dybantsa's Pops.
That'd be nice if you could get it.
Like I need to know, like, did Dybantsa's Pops play somewhere? Like what's his vibe? Let's see here. Ancient Ace Dybantsa Sr. is a campus police officer at Boston University. Yeah, Alabama's getting a good one.
I would like to go on record and say that something weird is going to happen before the end of this recruitment, like something unprecedentedly weird. Something smells off to me. The body language PhD sirens are blaring right now, and I can't figure it out, but I don't like it. Car, you know what I love about you?
That I'm handsome?
You're reliable. I can count on you. Honestly, you remind me of Aaron Henry a little bit. Remember when their back was against the wall, nothing was going right, and man just showed up every day. He didn't make excuses. There were no problems. There were just solutions.
Sounds like me.
That's you. And it also reminds me of Duncan Mechanical Solutions, because if you're looking for quality furnace repair, look no further than the heating and air experts that you can trust. Comfort and quality are their standard. They're an HVAC company that serves Northeast Indiana and Southern Michigan, whether it's heating and air conditioning, plumbing, kitchen and bath remodeling, or emergency services when you need them most. Duncan Mechanical Solutions has reliable service that you can count on. Cart, remember when your basement almost exploded?
I remember when my basement almost exploded. I remember when my furnace itself was acting funny. I remember when my AC was acting funny. I wish I had Duncan in my back pocket. I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been anywhere in Northern Indiana or Southern Michigan that hasn't been perfectly cool or perfectly warm, depending on when the day called for. And that's because of Duncan Mechanical Solutions. They are the presenting sponsor for the month of July. Shout out to Duncan Mechanical Solutions. Go to duncanmechanicalsolutions.com to learn more.